Episode 15, I believe.
Can take your word for the numbers, mate.
Cool.
Sounds
roll
very
with
good.
that.
How are you, Josh?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going all right. We are here on a Saturday afternoon.
No, it's different. It's weird.
It is different.
We're even in a different room.
We are. Oh, what happened there?
Yeah, fair enough.
I need a gin. That's what.
You do.
That's what happened. Now we have a small gin here
We do.
because for two reasons. One is we got given our advent calendar with gin in it.
Best advent calendar you could ever receive.
Almost the best advent.
Almost.
Yeah. Well, this one only has 12 days of Christmas.
This is true. A full one would be the best.
Anyway, but they come out with this. But we thought this would be good for today because what are we doing after this, Josh?
We are going go-karting.
We are going go-karting, and that's our work Christmas show.
It is.
And we're not meant to drink prior to it.
Weirdly, they told us not to drink prior.
Yeah, so we figured we were still a couple hours, well, still
Many hours.
3 hours away from that. And so we figured one of these small ones would be absolutely fine because this is only 40 mil. So between you and I, it's not even a standard drink each. So we thought we'd try this one out. But an interesting way of doing it. See lots of advent calendars coming out, which is
I
good
guess
to see.
why can't you get on the train with gin?
Well, we are. Look at that. There we go. A little bit for each of us.
Even in little glasses. It's cute.
Yeah, I thought I'd match the glass size to the gin size. There you go.
Yep, that's fair.
Righto. So we have Sugarbird, Cape Fynbos gin.
Cape Fynbos.
Yeah, these all seem to be South African.
I've just made a mess of that. Anyway.
Righto. There we are. Let's get into that. Let's try our Cape Fynbos. Fynbos.
So it's South African. Is that what you said?
Same as the one we had yesterday, or 2 days ago, I guess. But we forgot to open on the first day, so
It is.
no, that's better.
It's better than yesterday's.
It's better than the other one.
Yeah, there's actual a little bit of flavour to that.
Very good.
Well done, South Africa.
Well done.
Well done.
So we have got more work on.
We do. I was about to say we should jump in for business updates.
We are. We got more work on. You're flying off interstate next week.
I am.
To go and film with a
Nice
company.
impromptu end of the year work trip.
Yeah, it was unexpected. We thought our travel was done, and then we got a phone call and a bit of we're thinking about doing this. Could you guys help out? I'm like, yeah, we could do this, we could do that, or we could go balls deep and do that one.
Yep.
And they're like, yeah, we'll do that one.
Yep.
All right,
Cool.
no
Sounds
worries.
good.
So that's exciting. Some more work to keep things ticking along.
Yep.
Which is good. How do you feel about that, Josh?
I don't think I'm mentally prepared because after the year that we've had travelling, got to the end of that and went,
I'm done.
Can lay back until next year.
Yeah, and
so
now
I've got to get myself in the travelling mood and
got to think about all the
back into doing
cameras to
things.
take and
Yeah.
all those sort of bits and pieces. Are you taking lights? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a early next week workout. That one.
it certainly
We'll
is.
figure that out then.
Let's worry about go-karting first.
Yeah, definitely go karting. I'm getting in the competitive zone.
Okay. Well, speaking of the competitive zone, we have made a change to the podcast. So you guys who have been watching might have heard us talk about our commitments that we often failed at.
Yeah, they've always gone real well.
Sometimes they have gone well. Sometimes they've gone great. And then often they haven't. And we sort of thought that perhaps we just won't do them, simply. We thought we're going to get out of it. Let me screw out of it for a moment.
Yep.
That we are finding ourselves pretty frantically busy. And then we sort of decide to do this extra thing on top of that doesn't have any significant impact on work, and it just sort of takes away. And we're just challenged to keep up all the time anyway. However, the value of what we were attempting to do is to put something on the table to say, hey, we're going to work on this towards talk back on the show is still valuable, and we still think there's use there. So we are not turfing them, we're rebranding.
Yeah.
We're rebranding them to be
Very good tool rebranding.
Yeah, thanks. To be what we're going to be our focus idea. So I don't know. We haven't worked on the name yet.
Yeah, because we did start off with relatively sort of easier commitments to start with. We were able to get close, to achieve some.
Started getting a bit
and
extreme.
we started to get pretty full on to the point I'd leave the podcast and go, I have no idea how I'm going to complete that. Like, no idea.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about an area that we're going to focus on from what we do. So it's aligned with work that we want to achieve already.
Yep.
and not over and above in that way, but we're going to put more of a focus on a particular area and then work through. So, Josh, have you got one yet, or are we going to touch on that towards the end?
I think we touch on that towards the end, mainly so I can think of something.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, I can read through the lines. Yeah, very good. Very good. Now, and another thing, we've been talking lots recently, and one of the other things we thought we might start doing on this podcast is actually a little bit of practical or more hypothetical work. Some of the stuff that we like to do, some of the stuff we really enjoy, and because this is what I play. This is my biggest role within Captivating Attention, is sitting down with a client and talking through ideas with them. And I was doing that before Captivating Attention was a thing. We'd be sitting down with friends who run businesses and give them ideas and have that fresh perspective from outside. And we thought we might start doing that in a hypothetical nature, where we might pick a cafe in a particular scenario and then come up, if we worked with these people, what would we do?
Yes.
So, Josh, we have a less than hypothetical nature one, but we won't delve into the details. But the thing that you're going over to Victoria for is there's a retail shop,
yep,
a specialised retail shop, similar industry to what we're in our other businesses. And they're a regional town, but they're growing pretty significantly. They've quadrupled their size of their building. No, more.
I remember from when I first visited them to the last time I visited them, they have grown immensely.
Immensely. So they're doing good things. They're heading the right way. And so I wanted to come up with a few ideas of ways we could help. Like if we were going to work with them, which turns out we are, but if we were going to work with them, what would we do? We actually decided to ask this question before we got confirmation they were going to work with us. So, what would we do? What advice and ideas would we come up with? So, Josh,
I guess for this one, I have a couple of little not pre-planned ones, but stuff that I've thought about already, just in knowing that I'm going over there. There was a good chance of going over. Thought about some things. So they're deep in Victoria High Country where it can get very, very cold, and they do a lot of gear that's sort of tailored to suit that.
A lot of clothing.
A lot of clothing. So coming up with some content that is focused around that clothing, and so because a lot of people go travel through there, and how travel is, you get somewhere and you're like, wow, it's really cold here. I'm going to go buy some stuff. You want to be able to walk in or have seen some stuff and go, oh, okay, I want this one. And the reason why I want this one, they've explained it to me clearly. So coming up with some content and producing things so that you're running through, what gear's suitable for where you are, what's better than the other. If you got this, if you've got certain skin allergies, this one's better for you. Coming up with that tailored content to their area.
So really delving deep into the authority on a particular product sort of area. And how do you then bring that out to the market? What does that look like?
I guess that's where I'm hoping to lean on them a little bit, because I don't have that product knowledge. I don't know why you would choose which jackets.
No. So they've got the product knowledge. That's fine. No, we're not the product knowledge experts. How do you bring that out to market? As in, how do you deploy? Like, are you getting photos, footage? Are you getting infographics? What are you going to source? And then how does that deploy?
I think the way I was going to tackle it for this time was to try and produce our sort of hero video where you capture a 3 to 4 minute for this. It'd be a bit smaller, but
a little accent on
smaller.
Smaller, yeah.
But capturing a stuff that you're covering a wide range of the clothing, because they have a wide range to cover. But filming that in a way on that day that you can piece together into one thing to cover the range, and then you can separate that very, very easily to be able to grab this particular type of clothing. And there's a TikTok that you can, TikTok reel, short, roll that out, do that across all the types of clothing, and then put out your big piece, which then covers all of your clothing in one. So you can have one that just covers, hey, if you're coming to the high country, this does this, this does this, this does this. You're covering it all. But then just you're putting snippets out every few days. There's a, hey, have you looked at this type of hoodie? Hey, have you looked at this type of jacket? So a few days later. So you're able to grab it all in one hit and then also branch that out and spread that over time.
Okay.
And that lends itself to, while someone's got a nice jacket on, you can quickly switch it from film mode to photo mode and, snap some photos. Then you can you can go and Photoshop that. You can put some nice graphics over it, just put it up as a normal photo.
Okay, very good. I think one of the ideas that I had was in terms of getting to know the people, the staff there, because a big part of this particular business is their staff and their knowledge and their interest in the particular sport that they're involved with. And so being able to have a 5 or 6 minute conversation with the staff, asking them questions about the equipment they use and where they go and what type of discipline of the sport they enjoy, these sort of things, delving into it in a deeper way. Then again, that you may never actually play that 5-6 minute video.
Yeah.
But you will get a whole stack of questions answered there where people get to know the individuals, and so that they are, because they're that regional town, they're sort of got two major audiences. They've got the locals, right? And by them building their personal profile locally, it's going to help them. People walk in, they know people at that particular shop. They walk in there, they feel like they know them. They see one of the guys and like, hey, Ryan, how you going? You know, like, how's that? You know, how's this going for you? How's that going for you? Because they sort of invested a little bit more. They know a bit more about you.
Yep.
And there's lots of, it's quite a diverse, I guess, it's quite a diverse community, and there can be lots of different angles that people take in it. And so therefore, you know, one of the guys, Ryan, there might enjoy this sort of stuff and talk quite in deep about that. And then Andrew might talk about some other bits and pieces in a completely different circle. Yeah. Both within the industry they're in, but different interests, and being able to explore that, and that allows people to sort of, you know, they might relate to one of the people more than the other. So I think delving into the people that they have there is a really interesting way to be able to promote that business. And then, you know, short form videos and bits and pieces, and then you could even use some photos with some captions like, "This is the stuff I use," or "This is my favorite," whatever it might be, with photos depending on the you know, where they want to put that through.
It also, you build trust within your community and your audience as well, so that when someone does walk in, they're like, oh, hey, Ryan, and you know, you've watched 5 TikToks with Ryan talking about he does this, he does that, he's done this for X amount of years and all the rest of it. You know, when you're going in to purchase whatever you're going to buy, that you've got that experience, and you know that they are doing this the same as you are. So when they say, oh, hey, mate, I would grab this is my personal opinion, I'd grab this one. It's not just someone saying, hey, buy this one's the best. It's someone going, no, like, I use this is the reason why I use it, and it's been amazing. You've got a level of trust there that you go, cool. I know I'm not just being sold something for being sold something's sake.
Yeah. The other idea that we've had, and not to pinch this away from you, because we had this idea when we were over there earlier this year, and we were looking at one of the cabinets. One of the cabinets has all this sort of items of historical nature, that have been donated to the shop and just put on display effectively, almost like
it's a very cool shelf.
It's a very cool shelf, and it almost, we said at the time, we're like, what would be rad, like, is to be able to go through and tell the story of each of these pieces to the best of your knowledge.
Yeah.
And
because I think a large portion of it too was donated from members of the community.
It was, yeah.
So you've got a story of someone has given you this item and it has historical meaning to it.
Which is, very interesting. And not necessarily, directly what you're trying to sell or anything on those lines, but what a way to engage the audience with storytelling. It's just straight storytelling. Like, this came from here and was given to us by this person, and it dates back to wherever it was, or, and they had 20 or 30 items in that cabinet.
I'm assuming that has grown now too. It was nature. The whole bottom of an entire cabinet.
Yeah, that's right. So it was, there's lots there to delve into. So I think that there is, sometimes the stories of, you'd be in a shop that's been around for a while and it's got all these sort of bits and pieces as it's found. Like when we had it here, we had a mysterious sign arrive on Friday.
We did.
With no name connected to it or anything on those lines.
Yeah, the only thing we had was it arrived from the UK.
Yeah, that's it. Cool. And it was one of the logos, one of the brands, and it was lit up, and it was a rad sign. It looked awesome, but we didn't know where it came from. And then we worked out eventually that it came from a friend of ours who sent it to us. But we'll put that up on the wall. It's fantastic, and there's other bits and pieces starting to build in this building that in a year's time or 2 years' time, we made it be able to go down that path of like, hey, this is interesting. We got this from this place. That tell the story, and you can do some nice B-roll of the item or whatever it might be, and it can give you something to talk about. It is actually interesting that isn't just pitching to someone.
Yes. Yeah, because you're not doing that to gain sales from that post. It's just you're garnishing attention and people looking at you going, oh, these dudes are awesome. Like, these dudes are really interesting. Like, that's an awesome little story. Oh, I'm going to go check out them further.
Yeah. And then they're in the store, they'll be able to see that sign or see that
being able to walk in and go, oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's it. And they know the history of it or know what it is. So it's a very interesting, very interesting option. Have you got another idea at all of things to connect with?
I think because we're also going over there's the in-store stuff and there's also an event that they are connected with. Yeah. Is it their first time hosting?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, yes. First time hosting an event. So there's a story to tell there with, we've been building this up so far and we want to get involved with things. I think there's going to be lots that comes out of that. Yep. Being able to get the whys, like why are you wanting to get involved in this? And, I know the people involved and it's just we are passionate about this sport and we want to see it grow.
I think there's a bigger idea there, perhaps, that to play in our hypothetical of that putting an event on, creating an event that engages the community, and then capturing footage from that. We spoke with I don't know the order that these podcasts are going to go out, but we spoke with a guy called Ryan. I don't know if that episode's been up yet or not, but the bearded chap, Ryan. If it hasn't, look forward to it. Something coming soon. And if it has, how good was it? Yeah, so got both covered. And then Ryan was talking about it doing an event and then capturing the event, in terms of a hero video, which then lead to lots of little pieces of content. But I guess people like stuff that's got life in it, right? Yeah. So something that's a little bit out of the ordinary, not just, you've got your shop and you just, customers walk in and you serve it. You do what you can with that as well. But if you've got the ability to run some sort of event that's going to engage more people, capture as much as you can, because people will see that and be like, oh, that's connected back to these guys, and they will get where there's activity, obviously that's a good place to be hanging out or a good place to be spending time or speaking with these guys. They're active. We know that they're actually out there doing their thing, doing what they're talking about, rather than just being like, yeah, we just sell stuff, come in. Yeah. And so, some business models don't work with that. But if you can run some sort of event and bits and pieces, it's really useful. Yeah,
just building that community. Community is key.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, Josh, we need to get go-karting.
We do.
So it's going to be a shorter episode, I think, this time.
It's going to be a much shorter episode from the last few.
However, have you thought out something to focus on?
Not
really. Or are you too distracted by
way too distracted thinking
the travel to it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think my big focus is going to be making sure the weekend goes smoothly. That's honestly where my headspace is at.
I understand. But what a cop out. What I think would be good. So one of the things that we've identified is that we've done a bunch of captivating attention social posts and bits and pieces.
Yep.
And one of the things has been that they've been very samey.
Yes.
There's not been a breakup in you look at the feed and it's all like the same looking thing, and they're the guys have been grabbing a podcast or grabbing one of our conversations that we do, and they've been cutting that up and then putting up almost like in order of the next one, the next post, the next little snippet. And so I've challenged them, and so here's one for us to put some focus on over the next couple of weeks, being able to take that from where it is now, where it's just all these snippets that are almost being played out in order from virtual hangouts or podcasts to over the course of 2 weeks having 7 or 8 different scenarios where we've got different videos. So as you're scrolling through the feed, you're seeing, Josh talking about something particular with socials, a snippet from the podcast, a snippet from the virtual hangout, some camera advice, someone shooting a Nerf dart at one of the editors, for example, and these other.
I'll start doing that more.
probably should. These other more dynamic pieces of content that are supporting each other rather than just being a little bit more mundane, which is where I think we've been. And to be fair, we've been that in captivating attention because we've been so focused on others that we've been pushing.
We've let ours slip a little bit. Yeah,
so that's where I think that would be a really good focus to build a more dynamic presence through the shorts we produce over the posts we produce over the next couple of weeks.
Upping our own content game.
Now I know this is on the cards for us. This is the goal. This is not this is not something new to do. This is already something we're planning on working on. But make it public and talk about it, and then we'll look at in a couple of weeks, did we make that shift we were planning to make?
Yeah.
And did it make a difference?
So and hopefully with that we can bring that focused effort and, bring the numbers from now and show the numbers by the end of it and go, cool, either this worked or it didn't work.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Very good. Well, stay tuned for a couple of weeks and we will chat with all you guys then.
Time to go karting.
Yes, let's do it. Let's go. You're up.
Game face on.
Yeah, I'm useless at it.